Okay. May 20th. Let's do it. No, wait, I'm sorry. May 21st. Let's do it. What kind of boxer are you?
Do they mean the dog?
I know, I was just trying to think of a joke about a boxer dog. Like a cutie, like I'm a boxer dog that one ear is brown and the other ear is white.
Mm-hmm. I'm the one with the face squished.
I think they all have the smushed face.
But I have like an extra smushed face.
Okay, so like your nose is wider.
Yeah, when they see me, they go like, "Oh my God, that's a boxer!" Like that. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm like a lady one, and somebody like put like a bow somewhere on me.
Okay, that's great. I can totally see.
Are we done?
Are we done?
Is that
Let's
what
go
we're
run in
talking
the park and pee on trees. That's awesome.
Okay. Epictetus says this, and bear with me. This is a long one, and it looks like
What's the name of it?
What kind of boxer are you?
Oh, okay.
This is a long one.
Why are we talking about boxers?
And it has like 5 questions. So just prepare to ask yourself some questions.
Okay, very cool.
Question number 1. I can't do it like that. I'm just going to read the quote. But what is philosophy? Doesn't it simply mean preparing ourselves for what may come? Don't you understand that really amounts to saying that if I would so prepare myself to endure, then let anything happen that will. Otherwise, it would be like the boxer exiting the ring because he took some punches. Actually, you can leave the boxing ring without consequences, but what advantage would come from abandoning the pursuit of wisdom? So, what should each of us say to every trial we face? This is what I've trained for. This is my discipline. Okay, I kind of like funked up the question in there, but that was like a critical question because he's like, don't you understand that if philosophy means you're preparing yourself for what may come, don't you understand that now you're preparing yourself to endure anything? So therefore, let anything happen that is going to happen. Like, let it show up, because this is the path of philosophy, is to prepare myself for the trials of life. And so he's saying, so what should each of us say to every trial we face? This is what I've trained for this is my discipline. So like,
that's cool.
Thank you for all of the bullshit. This is essentially, if I had to like sum this up. And then he uses the metaphor of the boxer. Are you baking something?
Well, I had something and I lost it. I was about to say it, but then we kind of started talking at the same time, so I stopped.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. No worries.
Sorry.
Can I look at this for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, this came back. So I had this thing today where I was in a meeting and things were not going well from the standpoint of like there's like miscommunication, people not understanding what the purpose is. People got invited to it. I didn't invite, other people invited them, and then they were like, hey, what is this about? And I'm like, I don't even know why you're here. You know what I mean? So like it was kind of tough. It was tough. It was not like not cool. No, it's all good. It was just a lot of confusion. But that confusion created these like punches, right? Like if I'm in the ring, and then created like I'm in a boxing match a little bit,
yeah,
and I'm getting punched, and I'm like, my reaction to it was not to like go into the corner and like hide there, but I said, listen guys, I'm even though we're maybe disagreeing or miscommunicating, I need you to be honest with me. Tell me exactly. Like I faced it. Like I faced that thing that was boxing me in the face, and then and facing it created like my mouth was dry and like totally cottonwood type of a thing, right? And then very very emotional, not angry, just like, oh my god, like I'm doing something out of ordinary that I normally don't do in front of people. Being like completely.
So it was like a new thing.
It was like a new thing to be congruent in the point where someone is disagreeing with me, or I'm disagreeing with them, and we don't have to start yelling at each other, but I need to tell you that I disagree with you. If I take that in, which that was my default reaction, then that doesn't feel good afterwards, and I'm having so much trouble with that afterwards. But this I had to like somehow, only now this is being realized, right, as I'm speaking through it. Like man, like I was like, isn't this philosophy but I never had that thought of like, oh wow, like this is a great thing, because isn't this what I was preparing for? This is why I do this philosophy. This is why, so anything can come. I have not said that to myself. I went through this, so saying that maybe the emotions now are going to subside a little more. Maybe there's not going to be, maybe calmness in voice will be more present versus this antsy, a little frustrated kind of a thing, because you're not being understood, or you're not understanding them, or it's like this. The communication is like, talking at each other, and that creates that. But like that's a cool way to like going forward. Like that's a great takeaway. Like, okay, I'm gonna when I'm in a rough situation, I'm gonna say like, well, isn't this what the philosophy is talking about? Like this thing, this very uncomfortable, weird, totally off of a left field type of a situation. This is exactly what that prepared you for, or me for, or I prepared myself for it, whichever I want to say it. But also, it's not that like, it's also, I can then also look at it in a way like, yay, here it comes. In some weird way, after I understand this more from experiential, from experience, then I'm like, I can see myself be looking forward to these weird things, because like, oh, like this is what the life is bringing, and this is an exercise, and now we're in this yoga exercise type of a thing, right? Like life brings us these things that we need to test ourselves or exercise with them or something like that. Yeah, that's very cool. Boxer, yeah. Stay there and keep boxing. Don't leave or something, yeah. Don't give up on it. Thank you.
You ready for a ride?
Mm-hmm.
The Stoics loved to use boxing and wrestling metaphors the way we use baseball and football analogies today. This is probably because the sport of pankration, literally all strength, but a purer form of mixed martial arts than one sees today in the UFC, was integral to boyhood and manhood in Greece and Rome. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, recent analysis has found instances of cauliflower ear, a common grappling injury, on Greek statues.
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
On Greek statues.
Well, yeah, because there was like there was an honor, because they were like, well, you're a good fighter, you're still alive, but your ears are totally mashed up, so that means you're doing something, right?
The Stoics refer to fighting because it's what they knew. Seneca writes that unbruised prosperity is weak and easy to defeat in the ring, but a man who has been at constant feud with misfortunes acquires a skin calloused by suffering.
No.
This man, he says, fights all the way to the ground and never gives up. That's what Epictetus means too. What kind of boxer are you if you leave because you got hit? That's the nature of the sport. Is that going to stop you from continuing?
Yeah, thank you. That's so great because that brought up something about like handshakes, and like not everybody's gonna have their ears. What is it called?
The cauliflower
The
ears?
cauliflower ears, right? Because they're not like actually in martial arts, but it's like, oh, like, but I like, how can I tell, like, oh, like those handshakes of some people have their hands like really like, like you can tell that they've been working with their hands their whole lives or something like, and that's kind of like a sign of that they are this hardcore fighter or something, because their hands are like they're just like, they're not protecting their hands. They're just like, we got to get this job done. They're like very driven almost.
But do you think people without like a calloused hand are then not? Because I think it's just a strong handshake.
No. I'm just saying, it's in addition to those ears, a roughed up hand could also be a sign for someone who's living a hard life. I'm not saying the people who have softer skin are not living a hard life.
Because where I thought you were going to take it was like the strength of a handshake. Because people have nice skin, but they're like badasses. Like they're just, you know what I mean? And it's like, you feel that in the handshake of like a badass, even if it's like this person just works a 9-to-5 job and like never really does crazy shit with their hands, but like they deal with these same trials, of course, like all of us do, and they don't shy away from them. They just like walk into that shit, and so then they represent that in their handshake with you. That's where I thought you were gonna go with it.
No, I just kind of like the roughed up hands. Somehow, like that was like almost like an image of like this, like, what's his name, our neighbor, Wayne. When you shook his hand, like you just had this feeling like this guy lived through hell and back, like there's something about that. And I'm not saying others are not that way with soft hands. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I just noticed this hand in there.
Okay.
Anything else?
Not for me. Let's wrap it up.
Okay, sounds good.
Coolio. Thank you for joining, and we will see you here tomorrow.